This is one of the most shocking videos I've ever seen in my life. And it questions human systems to the core, the very structures that we think we've meticulously put in place to guide us through life and through frameworks that we trust and depend on with our lives. Just have a look at this and let's talk.
Let me ask you a question. How would you prove that you are sane to somebody who already believes that you are mentally unstable? Would you stay calm? Would you get angry about it? Think about it. Almost anything you do could make you look even more mentally unstable. In 1973, a psychologist carried out an experiment that put that idea to the test. David Rosenhan wanted to know whether psychiatrists could really tell the difference between somebody who was mentally ill and somebody who wasn't. So he recruited 8 healthy volunteers. Then he sent all 8 to different psychiatric hospitals with one simple instruction. Tell them that you are hearing voices, and those voices are only saying 3 words: empty, hollow, thud. Apart from that, they were told to answer every other question honestly. Give them your real name, tell them your real job, your real life story, Every single one of those volunteers were admitted. 7 were diagnosed with schizophrenia. The 8th was diagnosed with manic depressive psychosis, a diagnosis that we now know as bipolar disorder. None of them was actually mentally ill, remember. But once they were inside, they were told to stop pretending. They told the doctors that the voices had disappeared. From that point on, they were just living their normal lives, behaving exactly as they normally would. So they expected to be discharged, right? But they were not discharged. Time passed. Even though they behaved normally, the hospital staff continued to see them as mentally ill. Almost everything that they did was interpreted through this diagnosis. One volunteer simply took notes about what was happening around him. He just liked to write. His note-taking was recorded as writing behavior. Even acting quiet was seen as a symptom. Once they were labeled as mentally ill, ordinary behavior no longer looked ordinary. Eventually, they were discharged. The shortest stay was 7 days. The longest stay was 52 days. On average, they stayed 19 days inside psychiatric hospitals. None of them was discharged as healthy. Instead, their records described their mental illness as in remission, meaning that the hospitals believed that they still had the illness, but it currently wasn't showing any symptoms. And here's what's interesting, right? The doctors and nurses never suspected that these people were not mentally ill. It was some of the other mentally ill patients who became suspicious. A few said things like, "You're not crazy." Some started thinking, "Are you a journalist? Are you doing some research on us or something?" The experiment was eventually published. It made headlines around the world. Many people started asking the same question: had psychiatric hospitals really failed to recognize 8 healthy people? How? They can't differentiate between a mentally ill person and a normal person. One hospital believed that it wouldn't make the same mistake. They told Rosenhan to send them people, test us. So Rosenhan told them, okay, he will, but he told them, "I won't tell you when I send the people." The staff examined every new patient they got carefully. Out of 193 admissions, they identified 41 people that they believed were pretending. But guess what? Rosenhan had not sent a single one. Everybody that they had picked out had legitimate mental health concerns. For me, this proves that once we put a label on someone, it's very difficult to see anything else. Everything that they do points to what we've already labeled them as. Be careful what label you're allowed to be attached to you.
Oh my goodness. Did you just hear that? I had a lot to think about after watching that video. And I realized that, honestly, sometimes as informed as we are, as educated as we may think that we have become, we just don't know what is going on in life. These are institutions whose sole job is to deal with mentally ill people. And yet they couldn't even detect who was a patient and who was not. The craziest part is that those who were able to tell the difference were the ones who were genuinely regarded to not be well. They could tell the difference, and the people who are trained doctors could not. My goodness. Look, we have to be humble. Oh. Just think about it. What if this study was never done? How many institutions out there have we created for ourselves as humans and put certain limitations and labels on people and they feel trapped? My God. This is why it's important that you free yourself. Learn to see beyond limitations and norms of society. I'm telling you, climb above the boundaries that have been set for you in the environment that you were born in, because you might just be trapped in an invisible wall with all kinds of tags that you would think are your reality, when the truth is there is absolutely nothing there stopping you from expressing the fullness of your gifts and your abilities. If I don't stop now, I will speak for 1 hour straight. So let's write that meet in the comment section and the next video.